Thanks for locking in with 77 Flavors of Chicago. We're your host, Dario.
And I'm Sarah, and I hope you're ready to learn with us.
Hey. Woo, yeah. Happy birthday, 77 Flavors of Chicago. Yeah, I've been waiting for this. You got to do that so we don't get flagged.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
I can't.
Come on.
Okay, all right.
We got to do that so we don't get flagged.
I can't imagine listening to this like Monday morning, and this is what happened.
We people's happy place, and they know that.
I'm just saying that was loud.
We they happy place. They ain't going to expect that. Happy birthday, Sarah.
Oh, happy birthday, Dario.
That sounds weird. But
well, it doesn't. So yesterday, my friend got married. And when I tell you we screamed, she's disclaimer, she's white. And white people love a lot of yelling songs, the songs that you can sing along to. Like her favorite song is Mr. Brightside.
How that song go?
Of course.
I've never heard Mr. Brightside, have I?
Yes,
I had to.
Of course you've heard Mr. Brightside.
I guess I don't know the name of it. I didn't know. I don't. If somebody was be like,
jealousy, no,
ain't ringing no bell.
I play it because you know Mr. Brightside. Anyway, so that's her favorite song, and when I tell you we sang that song, and of course they played like every ABBA. So she's actually having her full wedding in Greece, so they played a bunch of like ABBA songs.
So we getting ready for Greece. So
a lot of like sing along music. Like there was no moment where you could like
just vibe out,
where you could like pop ass. Like
he said there was
her whole family was there, so it was a very dignified. She is also like a very classy person, if I'm being honest.
Right.
So of course the wedding was going to be classy as hell. So there was a lot of singing along, and I sang along. I went crazy. All these white people songs. They did a couple of, they did the Macarena.
Well, I ain't heard the Macarena since gym class.
There was a lot of old hits.
Like name another one. Macarena is pretty damn old.
It is pretty old.
I mean, you played me Poison while I was out here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They had Poison. They went crazy.
Poison.
And her family's Polish, so there was like back and forth, like some Polish. Also, she loves like bachata and salsa, so there was like some bachata, some salsa in there. It was a lot of fun. I danced for hours.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? So I wasn't able to make that, but I did their photo shoot for the wedding. Yeah. For their
City Hall.
Yeah, City Hall wedding. Fantastic. Got some fantastic shots. So shout out to them.
I love them.
But enough about other people, man. It's us, man. Like this is our birthday.
Well, I say that to explain why I sound a little weird is because I was screaming all night.
Yeah, you was
So I sound a little
raspy.
Raspy.
Yeah, and this weekend has been a long weekend.
It has been a long weekend. It's been so long. I took a nap today.
Yes,
which I never do. I'm like a nap hater.
Yeah, you don't do that. You was going for an hour and a half too.
You don't need to give the details.
No, man. Look, hey, I'll be going for 2
at least daily.
Yes. I ain't afraid. You the only denier over here.
But happy birthday to us.
Yeah, happy birthday to us.
Can you guys believe it's been 3 years?
Yeah, man. Like that.
Has anyone been here for the whole 3 years? I know you have.
Yeah.
But like, DM us. Cause
for real. Let us know.
Crazy.
If you've been here with the team.
Please message us or email us, because that's actually really cool.
Yeah, send us a birthday shout out or something, man.
Yeah.
So today's episode, we just gonna be going over like
we are.
What these
I still have a this week in Chicago history moment for us this week. So, which is actually kind of ironic.
Oh boy!
But June 10th, 1847, the Chicago Tribune published its first publication.
Get out of. What? Hold on.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah. Wow. Wow. What damn.
And if you guys don't know our origin story, the reason you might be here is because the Tribune wrote an article about us 3 years ago.
That is crazy.
Yeah. And people started listening to us.
Man,
I thought that was interesting. Did you know that they were called the world's greatest newspaper?
Yes,
and the
that's what
slogan, WGN Radio comes from that.
Yes, I knew that. Yes.
It is the most read daily newspaper in Chicago metropolitan area, in the Great Lakes region.
Wow. Well, I'm still shocked over they started June 10th. What year?
1847.
Wow, that's amazing. 10 years after the city was incorporated. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, what a fantastic week to have that this week in Chicago history. So Sarah and I, this episode, honestly, probably not gonna be too long, but
it won't be.
It's been 3 years. We ain't missed a beat on a week, and
hopefully we got better. I think our flow got better.
Absolutely. I think our flow always been fire though.
Yeah, but it's more fire.
It's more.
It got better doesn't mean it was bad, even though it was a little
rough. First few episodes, a little rough.
A little ratchet in the beginning.
Yeah, it still was ratchet. And here's the thing, back in the bus now.
I know.
Back in the bus.
But I was cussing people out.
Yeah, we was we was all, we were both.
We were young.
we were young.
I was the ripe age of 27.
I was 36. I was 36.
I was 26. No, you were 35.
3 years ago. I'll be 40 this year.
You hadn't turned 36 yet.
I hadn't turned 37 yet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was a month away from 37.
I was about to turn 38.
Things were very different. So 38. Yeah.
I'm so young, you guys.
Yeah.
I am, for real.
Yeah.
In case you forgot.
Yeah.
Child.
Dang.
Child's bride over here. Ripe age of 31.
Resist that wise man, though. You feel me?
Anyway. No, you're just childish. So
Damn.
I'm just mature for my age, and you're like a young soul. So like, it fit.
Shit. Yeah. That's what she's saying. Damn.
But yeah, so we are. How many episodes have we put out?
170.
Let's run some stats.
Yeah. Right.
This is community area number 0.
Yeah. So check it out. I got some things for y'all. June 10th is actually the day when we sat down and thought about the podcast.
Yeah.
And like planned it out.
Yeah.
That was the day that we got all the equipment that we are using now.
We didn't get the equipment.
Yeah, right.
Let's get the story right. A lot of people ask us, how did you come up with the idea for the podcast? Dario went out and spent $2,500 on podcasting equipment in the middle of the pandemic for another podcast that he had. Does not exist anymore.
No.
And in order to convince me that it was all right, he was like, put these headphones on, see what you sound like.
I didn't.
And I was like, okay. And I was like, wow, I really do have a face for radio.
Sound good as fuck. Damn, no.
I was like, wow, I sound amazing.
Yes.
I think everyone should hear that. And I don't know if you know this, but they let anyone buy a mic. And so we decided, let's do, like, we're already doing these like date nights during the pandemic at home where we would go back and forth. Each one of us would take a turn planning a date at home because obviously we couldn't go outside. And then the city announced that they're going to open back up, and this is 2021. And so we said, all right, so let's start doing our date nights outside. Each week, one of us will like plan a date. Let's visit all 77 community areas. Daria's from Chicago.
You South Side.
And he loves history. We both love history, but he is like the true historian.
And I mess with Chicago history.
And I've always loved history. Like even as I was growing up, all of my uncles are into politics and history and all of that. So I was definitely down to learn more. And so we decided we'll go through all 77 community areas. I bought a little bingo game thing, and I was like, we'll randomly pick. And mind you, this is like 3 people were listening to this podcast. Like no one knew who we were, obviously.
Right.
We didn't ever think anyone was going to find out. We thought this would be like fun for us. Like we would just document this for ourselves. We would go on these dates. We would learn some history. And you can clearly tell that those episodes do not exist anymore. But the first 3 episodes, it sounds like we were just hanging out. Yeah. And Dario was telling us some history, basically.
Well, right. And here's the thing. we still sound like we just hanging out.
Yeah,
We just
but
be
I feel
kicking.
like now there's actual like structure and
Order,
like
yeah.
like where you know how like parents will dice zucchini really small and like feed it to their kids. I feel like that's what we're doing with history. Like we are tricking you into learning things.
Yeah.
And you're fucking loving it.
And it's working, man. I'll be honest. When we when we came up with it, so June 10th was the conception, right? June 13th is when we actually went out. That was the first day.
Yeah.
That Chicago was open.
Yep, it was.
Yeah.
Everyone was literally outside.
Yeah.
We decided we would start with our neighborhood as the first one, and so we went to a restaurant that we'd never been to, and our relationship kind of started in the pandemic, so
Right.
we never got to like date. Like we started dating, and then everything shut down. So
Yeah.
it was like our first time going to a restaurant in a very long time.
Yeah. Right.
We hadn't
And
gone
it was
to anything
and
since
you
like
could
March.
probably count them on all hands.
Yeah.
One hand.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like because they shut down so quick.
Right. And so we went to a restaurant in our neighborhood that we'd never been to before. And then we like vlogged a little bit. We came home and we recorded the podcast and all 10 of our friends listened to it.
Yeah.
And then the next episode we recorded was like just a couple days later. We said
Right.
we were going to do one episode every other week because it was like we would go back
Yep.
and forth on dates and I was going back to work and stuff like that. So
The thought process though was like, well, let's give people something to listen to.
Yeah.
Like, right, since we a new podcast, we don't want to wait another 2 weeks
Yeah.
in case we do get some,
we
some
never
traction.
thought we would.
Right. We never thought we would.
And we were literally doing things that were fun. So the second episode, we went to we did Streeterville, and like we actually recorded outside. And if you've been a listener for a few years now, you know that we used to record outside. And we still go outside and we vlog out,
Right.
but we record the audio portion in the studio. But we literally went outside. We sat in the grass, and we had 80 followers on Instagram. And one of the people I followed was Nick Kindlesberger from the Tribune.
Now before we continue here, because this is a good one. This is a community area podcast. We did Streeterville. That episode was labeled
And
Streeterville.
is
It's not a community area.
It's
So
a neighborhood.
we were still trying to figure out the community areas
But
necessarily.
figure out how we were going to do it.
Yeah, figure out how we were going to go about the podcast
And
because
we almost like didn't mind because it was just for us. Like,
it was just for us. Yeah. So I mean, like it didn't have
we're in the community area.
right. It was like once we realized, well, I mean, because the first one, Lakeview is a community and a
Right.
neighborhood, and so we were like, well, let's just continue doing that. We'll just go to a
Yeah.
different community area,
Right.
and talk about the neighborhood
And
there.
Streeterville, we actually recorded by Navy Pier, which is not even in a community
yeah,
area.
right.
Because in order for it to be a community area, people have to live there, and so Navy Pier is technically outside of that community area.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I literally DM'd Nick Kindlesberger. He followed us back, and I was like, "Hey, we have this podcast. We'd love for you to listen to it." And he did, and he was like, "Are you guys actually recording outside?"
Yeah.
And we're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Can we talk tomorrow?" I was like, "Yeah."
We had no clue about like the audio was that good.
Yeah.
We had no clue. We just knew we had good shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
Expensive shit.
Yeah, right. Right. That was more importantly expensive shit, and like I guess quality. But
Right.
we didn't know that this was like one of the better sounding podcasts. I remember when he said that.
He says he gets a lot of podcasts,
Yeah.
and sometimes they have good content. but
Remember when we listened to a few episodes of different podcasts just
Yeah.
to see how we stack up, and we were like, "Damn, this shit
Yeah.
it do sound good."
Right. And so he wrote an article about us, and we actually did not know that he was going to write an article.
No, we didn't know. We didn't
I
know
literally
shit.
didn't know anything. I mean, think about it. Like, Dario was working retail. You were a store manager for AT&T. I still had a full-time job at, I worked in like Bolingbrook. I was an account manager at a warehouse. And like, just regular ass people, like for
Man.
real.
And
I mean, you're still regular ass people. I still clock in and clock out.
Man,
that shit
look.
humbles the shit out of you.
I still be late on projects. What's crazy though is like you said though, we honestly did not know what media
Anything.
was. We did not have a
I'd never
clue.
thought of it.
Right. So when we had the Chicago Tribune,
I mean, I knew who Nick was.
me too. Right.
Like, he's like the food critic,
But for
and
some-
he had just recently taken on that position after the like 30-year plus previous food critic left.
how we didn't put it together that we were going to be in an article.
Yeah, I thought maybe an Instagram
Instagram
post.
post,
I
that's
literally
what I
had
thought.
no expectation whatsoever. Like never in my wildest dream did I think we were at Zany's. Dario had a show.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we get an email
Now, I know I'm giving y'all some time dates, right? So like June 14th, we posted the first episode.
Yeah.
That was June 22nd, what Sarah just said.
Yeah.
Now we on June 23rd,
and
2021.
we have 2 episodes out.
2 episodes.
And we get an email from, was it WGN Radio?
Yep.
That was like, hey, we'd love to have you on our show. And I was like, I'm sorry, what?
Right.
Like,
as our phone is going crazy.
So Dario's out trying to like
get people to come to the show.
Come to the show, and I'm inside of Zany's because Dario used to do comedy. I'm inside of Zany's just waiting for the show to start, and I'm like, why is my phone explode? Like, what is happening? And Dario runs back and he's like, did you see the email? And I was like, what is going on? And I like Googled the name of the podcast and the article comes up.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, this is like a full on article.
Yeah.
And
we go
literally our life just like changed.
Just blew up. Like that. So that was the 23rd. That was the 22nd because the 23rd we were on WGN.
Yep. And
radio.
Yep. And
nuts.
Yep.
Like nuts. Like Steve Bergeron. He was
like, how have the last 24 hours been? I was like, crazy.
And then like in a split second, we on the air. We like, what is going on?
And I'd never done that before in my
life.
Never.
I'd never done it.
I've never been in a radio station. I've never even ever.
It just was crazy how
wild.
All that shit just like that June, the second half of June just took off. So then after that, y'all, when we realized, because the numbers just start going crazy, right? Like, and I look, y'all,
like thousands of people were flocking. It was
people to people, us to y'all. Like, honestly, we still humble as hell. But like when that shit was happening, the numbers were just astounding. What was going on with?
I was like, I don't even think I've ever met this many people. I've never met this many.
The day that happened, I think we checked the numbers on the podcast. We were number 2 in the arts category.
Yeah.
Like we had shot up to number 2 in the arts category.
Right.
And then we on the map now. You know what I'm saying? And like, what the fuck? And so that was it.
Yeah.
After that, that's when we got to act together. We were like, okay,
we need to like pivot and and then we recorded an episode and Dario was like so prim and proper. I was like, this is not gonna work.
That was if y'all wondering, it was the North what was it? God, what episode was that? It
was episode 4.
Yeah,
because we had already recorded episode 3,
which is the first episode right now, y'all.
Which is now the first episode.
It's now the first episode. Yeah. So if you wonder, I can look it up right here.
And when we actually, that's one of the few episodes that we recorded twice
near West Side.
Near West Side, we usually only record one time. Maybe edit a couple things out here and there, but we truly don't edit out anything. Nah. The episode is what you get. But with that one, we had to re-record because we recorded it, and Dario was like, corporate.
I was because in my head, because like we just had to like take down the episodes because it was cussing too much and it was like unorganized, and so now we got all this attention, people listening to us. We only got 3 episodes. Actually, those episodes stayed up there for a long ass time. We only had 2 episodes out.
Yeah, it was wild.
And so 3 episodes when we redid, we had to redo Beverly because that was technically the 3rd one. It's not up yet. It's not up now, y'all.
Yeah.
But and then when we got to Near West Side, we were like, I was like full on like in that.
I was like, we need to take a break and come back and re-record because this does not sound fun.
It did not flow at all.
It didn't sound fun. It sounded very like bland.
Look, all I knew is I was like, I'm not about to ruin this for us. That's all I kept thinking about. It was like that we have so much attention. The numbers are through the roof. And I was just like, I'm not about to fuck this up for us.
Yeah.
And then when you did it, now what's out there, what y'all can listen to, this is like one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
The Near West Side is actually, because it's funny.
Yeah.
It was funny. It was more natural. And that, honestly, that was really the start, like, of us, like, we figured out the community areas. We had a rhythm as to, and don't do the neighborhoods because it's a lot of neighborhoods, but do the community areas and sum all that shit up and then have some kind of structure.
Yeah.
That
even our old intro said historic neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Because that was the original plan. But we said, no, that's too many. Let's do it. Because like community areas was already going to take us a year and a half.
Yeah.
because we were gonna do one episode a week.
Yeah.
What were you gonna
And I was gonna say, and that didn't hit us until we were on the news the following week.
And we were on Fox 32.
No, WGN.
No, it was Fox 32, and she was like, yeah, and she was like, "Do you guys think you'll still be together?"
No, that was WGN.
Okay, whoever it was. It was like, do you think you're gonna be together to finish the 77? I was like, I hope so. I don't know. And I was like, shit, it's a year and a half.
Didn't even think about that. Like when she said that, I was like, yo, like like what? Fun fact, we gonna be on WGN again talking to Sarah Ginger
Later this week.
At the time of this episode, this week of this episode, for her show Spotlight Chicago. So tune in. But yeah, that was crazy. Like that is like really our June,
our birth
story, y'all. Like I think we've told it a few times, but like this is the first time.
We definitely have. I don't remember.
It's always good to reminisce. It's always good to reminisce right around this time.
It's like, you know what it feels like? It feels like we've been on a hamster wheel and have not gotten off.
Yeah.
And like,
but the most fun hamster wheel.
Oh yeah, it's not like
not a problem. Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right.
I fucking hate it. No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, like we started and never, like you guys know, we have not taken a week off, and it feels like it's every once in a while we just like take a step back and you're like, whoa, like where are we? Like this is, I think one moment for me was like when we were in the doing the tour of Lyric. I was like, this is crazy. Like,
yeah.
You buy a mic and people let you in places. No, I'm just playing. Don't.
Yeah, no.
But like, it's actually like such a wild experience.
Man, it's crazy. I think the maybe the moment, I don't know what's like the moment
when our merch was. When I saw our merch in the architecture center.
Yeah, that shit crazy.
That was crazy to me because like I have been to the architecture center for like as a fan. You know what I mean?
Right.
For so long.
Right.
And to walk in and our stuff is
Sitting
in there.
You know,
like mind blowing.
That is super mind blowing. I think for me, it's like when people recognize us on the streets. That to me will never get old because like
for real, that's wild.
That's crazy. And be like, I either watch your Instagram, I listen to
I recognize your laugh. I recognize your voice.
Yeah, right.
I see you from like your stories.
Yeah.
I follow you on Instagram. I've seen
Hot Take Tuesday is fun.
Right? Like it's just so many like odd moments that I truly like living our everyday life. Like I feel like a regular person.
Yeah.
Until like we go to like an event or like someone recognizes us in the street and I'm like, this is wild. Like people actually care what we say.
Yeah.
Like that's the other thing is like people actually put value on what we do.
Yeah.
Not that I don't. Obviously, if I didn't value what we do, I wouldn't be doing it. But like to think that other people actually enjoy and value what we do is so
it's intense.
Crazy.
It's intense. I mean, like we have a duty to Chicago, I feel like, to tell Chicago's story to right. You know what I mean? Like because like
from the beginning, I mean it went from date night to quickly.
We have people all over the country. We have people over the world that listen to us. To answer your question, how many episodes? This is episode 177. Okay?
Hey, 177.
177. Parody is just a thing. But
irony,
parody, how things just work out. Like but the last 5 episodes, we've gotten 50 downloads from. Hold on, like that's just Europe. Let's see, 50, 53, 3 from Africa, 11 from Asia, and 1 from Oceania. So we got 64.
Remember when you argued with me that Oceania wasn't a thing?
Yeah, I still don't think it's. I mean, it's a thing. It's a thing, but I think Australia, it can go whatever.
I learned that the continent is Australia, but I know that like.
I also learned Pluto was a.
Yeah, but that was like.
It's back now.
That was like 3 decades.
But it's back now. It's back now. What you talking about? So it's back. It's back now. Anyway, 64 downloads from outside of the United States. That's intense. So man, the reach is good, man. We spreading Chicago's news. It's great.
Yeah.
So how are we celebrating? Our 3-year?
Well, how are we celebrating?
We are doing the remix. So what we're gonna do is
my God, yeah.
So what we're gonna do is starting this Thursday, if you listen to it on time, but Thursdays from here on out,
yep,
will feature the original 77, 1 week after another, so another year and a half of doing it. But just because first time we were doing food and history and then food, this time it's going to be shortened episodes, just the history part. We'll talk at the beginning of the episode and at the end to close out the episode. But so we're going to do it. But the difference is instead of it being random, we're going to go in numerical order of the community areas.
So like we'll start with community area number 1, which is Rogers Park.
But this wasn't necessarily number 1. Maybe that's some history. How did they figure out which was community area number 1? I don't know. It's weird because that definitely wasn't the start of.
No, it wasn't the start of, but
I think maybe
we're not doing it in chronological. We're doing it.
No. I'm talking about how did Chicago decide that's community area number 1? You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. So maybe that's some good history. We could do that research that time, but because I honestly don't know how they started it.
How they decided?
Yeah, how they decided that was number 1.
Well, it was just a project at the University of Chicago.
Yeah, but I guess so because. But some of it still don't make sense. I don't know.
I think they started from the top.
Maybe.
And then they started adding more as the city grew.
The only one that makes sense to me is O'Hare. That's the only one that makes sense.
That should be 77.
Yeah, but here, think about this. 76, I think, is like Edgewater.
Yep.
So,
but that makes sense because it was added later.
No. Uptown was added later. You know what I'm saying? Let's see which one. Yeah. So, like, look at us trying to figure this out.
I feel like we've talked about this in the episode about the 77.
Maybe we have. I don't remember. But nonetheless, y'all, that's what we got going on.
It didn't start out with 77.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, because like Edgewater became a community area in the 80s. So like
1880s, y'all, not
1980s.
No.
The University of Chicago didn't do the. You think when did the University of Chicago start the project?
1920, like 19.
Yeah, so how could have Edgewater become a community area in 1880?
No. Edgewater was already a community area.
No. The number was given to Edgewater in 1980.
Was it? No. No. No.
It was part of Uptown.
Right.
Yeah, and then in 1980, it became its own community area.
No, Uptown was a part of Edgewater.
No.
Want it back?
Yeah.
What you trying to put on it? Huh?
I mean, $20.
What you got on that 40?
$20.
Here, let's see. Let's do this.
The actual Edgewater was founded in 1885.
Right.
But it didn't become its own community area until 1980.
Until 1980.
It was part of Uptown.
Okay. Hey, did I forget that?
Yeah.
That's different.
Guys, remember this moment, okay?
That's different.
Remember this moment.
That's different. Okay. Well, maybe I'm wrong.
You are wrong.
No.
Not maybe.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
No. Ain't no maybe.
Anyway, so clearly that's what the fuck we gonna be doing. That's what we gonna be doing, y'all.
But it'll be previously researched, not figuring it out during recording.
We did this shit almost 2 years ago. So y'all go ahead, eat this shit, man. Period. Look, now I'm getting mad.
Who are you getting mad at?
Anyway, that's it. So starting, I think we're gonna. I don't know if we can call it, but it's just a remix. The 77 remix is what we're doing. Yeah. But right now, it's quitting time for us.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for another dope year. You're gonna see more of us, literally, and we got some fun shit coming up.
We do have some fun shit coming up. If you want to support us, the best way to do it, that is free 99, is to engage with our content on Instagram. If you are not subscribed on YouTube, please go ahead and do that. It is literally free.
Yeah.
And we only post once a week, so we're not gonna be like flooding your YouTube. I don't know, homepage. I don't know what it is. Is it? But yeah, please engage with our content.
Keep on going, man. Appreciate y'all, dude. We appreciate it. Shit, fuck y'all. Y'all been giving us a life that we never thought we would have. So
literally,
keep rocking with it, man. You want to close this out?
I mean, I was trying.
Oh, cool. My bad. Well, go ahead. I just want to say thank you or some shit.
For what? I'm sorry. Yeah. If you enjoyed this episode.
Damn. Dang, that's right on cue. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone you love. And if you did not enjoy this episode, that's totally fine. There was no history in this one. Check back next week for some insane history. Actually, next week is going to be a really fun one.
Actually, yes.
I promise. We're going outside of Chicago. It's going to be a good one.
Let's
come
get it.
back.
Bye.
Or just come.
Ah, damn.
No.
Ah.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode, and we hope you loved it.
And if you could, please follow us on social media at 77 Flavors Shy on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter.
If you have any ideas or deep dives that you'd love us to do, please contact us at media@77flavorsshy. That's the number 77 flavors and shy for Chicago.com.
If you like visuals, please subscribe and follow and watch us on our YouTube channel at the same thing, 77 Flavors Shy, or search 77 Flavors of Chicago.
If you would like to support us monetarily, go ahead and click that Buzzsprout link in the description of this episode.
And as always, we gonna see you next week. Peace.